Hello, friendo. It's your girl T, and I'm here today with my 2017 hair, beauty, and random favorites. If you're watching this within, I don't know, 3 or so days of the upload, I'm actually on a boat right now. Not for pleasure, for work. Some of you guys know that I host a cocktail show called the Skybound Happy Hour, which is all about cocktails that tie into that particular week's episode of The Walking Dead. What you may not know is they also have Walking Dead cruises, and they decided to do Skybound Happy Hour live on the cruise, and they asked me to come along and do the show live on the boat. And while the idea of a cruise is my personal nightmare, nothing gives me more dread than the idea of being trapped on a vessel in the middle of the water. It's work, and I gotta take my gigs where I can get them. So this is actually something that I pre-filmed for you guys, which will serve as not only my 2017 beauty favorites, but also my week 2 check-in for our Project Beast Mode Fitness Challenge. But let's start off with the goodies. Let's start off with the stuff that I loved last year. This year's list of things is a bit more curated, mainly because I didn't really go as ham on buying makeup and stuff last year as I have in the past couple of years. I think sometime between the end of 2016 and the beginning of 2017, I just sort of got over it. That sort of mania and YouTube hype, I think I just kind of outgrew it. So I'm a lot more selective these days with what I buy and when. So I quite frankly just didn't buy as much stuff as I did in, say, the previous couple of years, which means I didn't try as many things. To be fair, I wouldn't say that I wasted less money. I just have sort of lost that zest for keeping up with the YouTube Joneses in terms of like what new palette or whatever is coming out. Nonetheless, I've got a pretty nice little collection of things here that I have used a lot, which means more to me. I definitely prefer it when people show me things that they've been using a lot instead of something they've been using for a week or two. So the first item is this sunscreen. A lot of you guys know, if you've watched any of my skincare videos, that I wear sunscreen every single day. I live in Southern California, which makes it imperative for me to wear sunscreen. And the legit stuff, I don't truck with no SPF 15. I wear that to stay inside. So if I'm going to be leaving my apartment, I need something. I like SPF 45 and higher. This is the Dr. Dennis Gross Shear Mineral Sun Spray. It is a mineral-based sunscreen, which is also another thing that is critical to me. I only use mineral-based sunscreens. I don't truck with avobenzone and octinoxate and all the chemical ones. Minerals only, so titanium dioxide and or zinc oxide are what I use. Stephanie Nicole actually put me on game to this, not me personally. She's mentioned it in a couple of her videos. And I was excited about it because I wanted to try it as a sunscreen to top up my sunscreen after I've already been out for the day, or even if I'm out wearing makeup, which is rare. I thought it would be great because it's a spray, but then when I got it in the mail, I realized that it actually says not to spray it directly on your face and that you're meant to spray it in your palms and then apply it to your face. So that was kind of a wah wah. But I ended up loving it anyway. If you can hear, it's got a little shaker ball inside, so you do need to shake it well. The texture of it and the consistency, it's just awesome. It leaves no cast whatsoever. The main way I use this is when I have to just get going in the morning, because I have a dog, as some of you know, Ray Ray, and one of the first things I have to do every morning is take her out for a walk. So I wash my hands and then I put this on my face and I just run out the door so that she can get her first bathroom break of the day. And it's been really great having something that's so easy and that I know is protecting my skin and is mineral based, because it's so silky feeling. It's got a wonderful texture. Let me see if I can show you guys. This one's actually already pretty low. This is the first bottle I bought, but I've already restocked on it. It's probably down to about here, but it comes out white, like such as. So if you can kind of see here, you don't need much. I usually use 4 pumps to apply to my face in the morning, and that holds me down when I'm walking the dog. And then after I walk her, I'm usually off to the gym and I walk to my gym as well. So it's nice to know that I've got this protecting my skin while I'm out in the sun walking to and fro. Of course, by the time I'm walking home, I've mostly sweated off, so I walk home as quickly as I can. Really, I should bring it with me to reapply before I leave, but ain't nobody got time for all of that. But you can see here, it's left no white cast whatsoever. I am planning to put together a video where I talk about mineral-based sunscreens that are good for people of color that leave no white cast whatsoever, because I've tried quite a few and I've got a collection of, I'd say, 3, 4, maybe even 5 that I can recommend. So I'm definitely going to be putting that together sometime soon. So be on the lookout. The next item is from Derma E, and it is their overnight peel with alpha hydroxy acids. This is an exfoliant. It's basically an overnight mask. It's got a very lightweight consistency, and you basically put this on at night after you've done your cleansing and toning or whatever. Then you leave it on overnight. You can top it up with a moisturizer if you like. I usually do. And I have found that this, to me, works just as well as the Drunk Elephant Framboise glycolic night serum that I've been using for a couple years now. In fact, I'm planning to just use this from now on. This is not something that you can use every day. It's recommended to use it 2 or 3 times a week because I'm still using up my back stock of other exfoliants that I have purchased and either already like the Drunk Elephant, or other ones I wanted to try. This one is the new winner. This is going to be the one that I use and continue to repurchase. So once I have used up the other ones, I'm probably just going to stick to using this 2 or 3 times a week. At the moment, I use it probably once a week because I am trying to phase out those other products. I love that this is from a natural oriented brand. You can get Derma E at Whole Foods. They carry it at Ulta. I bought this directly from Derma E at the time because of the next product I'm about to show you. But yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I love the price point because the Drunk Elephant stuff, the glycolic night serum, I believe, is $90, and I like what it did for my skin, but I don't like paying that price. So I'm really happy to have something that when I wake up in the morning after using this, I really feel like I noticed a difference in my skin's texture, brightness, clarity, all that. So great product, great price point. So happy I tried this. Funny enough, I only picked that product up because I was trying to buy this. This is the Derma E Radiant Glow Facial Oil that they did with Sunkist Alba. This is just a blend of oils like jojoba, argan, sea buckthorn, and it's got mica in it, which is why it's got that shimmery appearance when you look at it. It's a gimmick, but it's actually a pretty nice oil anyway. When this first came out, it was only available on the Derma E website. At this point, I believe you can get it pretty much anywhere that carries Derma E, but I wanted to support Sunkist Alba. I've been a subscriber of hers for quite a long time, and I do like to support my fellow YouTubers when they get their collabs, and this seemed like a nice oil. And it really is. The way I usually use it is I will mix it in with my daytime moisturizer just to give me a little bit more of a glow and to perhaps add some hydration, because even though my skin is oily, I don't treat it like it's oily, and a couple of years of behaving that way and making sure that I'm constantly giving my skin plenty of moisture despite the fact that it's oily has basically changed my skin into being normal. My skin does not behave like oily skin any longer. You do have to shake this up really well because of that mica that's in there. I feel like the mica is what gives it that Instagram, Pinteresty look, with all the sort of like swirls and shimmer that go through it. But it really is quite a nice blend of oils. So I would say check it out if you're curious. Moving out of skincare, let's get into my hair favorites of 2017. And there aren't many because I kind of talk about the hair products I like as I'm liking them in real time. But the two standouts of the year for me are things that I've also already talked about. I still wanted to highlight them anyway. And the first is just clay in general. This is a jar that when I bought it, it had this brand's Rasool clay in it. At this point, I just use it to decant my big 5-pound bag of Rasool clay into this. I buy my clays in bulk because I now use them every single wash day, and I feel like they've made a huge difference in helping me to just get a better handle on managing my hair and keeping it less tangled. I wouldn't say keeping it detangled because my hair does not remain detangled for more than 0.3 seconds. It immediately starts to retangle no matter what. But I feel like the amount that it retangles as I'm going through my wash day and just as I'm going through my life after my wash day and the days and weeks that follow, this has been clutch. So not just Rasool clay, by the way. I love to mix them, actually. Most recently, I tried Green Beauty's recipe where she mixes Rasool, bentonite, and kaolin clays because I picked up some kaolin clay to try that out. I think French green clay is still my personal favorite, but really any and all clays have been great for my hair and I will continue to use them. The other hair favorite of 2017 that I want to mention is the Kemet Biologics Olive and Honey Hydrating Balm. If you're a ride or die, you have seen this many, many times. This is officially my favorite sealant. I like it better than any regular oil. I like it better than any butter. If I really want to kind of get my hair moisturized and sealed properly, say after a wash day where I want it to hold me down for a couple of days, this is what I reach for. I recently did that video, how I take my hair from parched to plump and juicy. That was sort of an extreme case of what I do if my hair is extremely, extremely dry and even hard. But for the most part, if my hair needs moisture, if it's just like a regular during the week refresher, I'll spritz it down with my aloe spray leave-in that I've shown you guys, and then I'll seal with this and I'll call it a day. I mean, sometimes I might just seal with an oil still because I have so many oils and I might just grab whatever's closest. But for a real sealing in, this is bae. And I don't know why I use that term because I fucking hate it. Let's get into makeup. A year or maybe 2 years ago in my yearly favorites, I mentioned liking the Calais eyelash glue. If I had that glue, I probably would still like it, but it's kind of hard to find unless you make the trek out to like Namie's or Nigel's to get it. So for me, I've been using the Kiss Brush On Strip Lash Adhesive, latex free, usually clear. I think I have the black one too, or some other Kiss black lash glue, but it's in a tube rather than the brush on, a squeeze tube, because this is also in a tube. In any event, this has been a really good lash glue for me. This is a new tube because I already am like on the last legs of the one that I have on the go. I would say this is probably going to be my third or fourth. I've been using this Kiss one for the most part for over a year now because the Calais one is just too hard to re-up. I don't feel like buying eyelash glue on Amazon.com. I cannot be bothered. This I can just pick up from Walgreens or wherever, and it's great. I feel like it does not irritate my eyes. I'm wondering if perhaps my eyes have a sensitivity to latex because I'm not allergic to latex otherwise because I would know. Anyway, I do think my eyes might have a latex sensitivity because I've noticed that the glues that aren't labeled latex free can often like make my eyes burn, and it's an all day as long as I have the lashes on level of discomfort, which is particularly bad because I generally wear eyelashes for on camera work, so my eyes are just watering the entire shoot and it's a whole mess. It's a big problem. So this has been really good. Whenever I stray from it, I tend to regret it. If I'm like, oh, let me use this other random glue I have lying around, I nearly always regret it. So this has been the one for me. Speaking of on-camera work, my go-to foundation for over a year now, I would say, has been the EX1 Invisiwear. I don't really wear this in my real life, but I love this for on-camera work. I don't really wear this in my real life because it's pretty full coverage in my opinion, and I just don't wear makeup like that. But for on camera work, I need my face beheat and I need my face to be matte, and this is a very matte foundation. I don't think it's labeled nor marketed as such, but it is matte. When paired with a mattifying primer and a good powder, this holds me down and keeps me matte and shine free so that I don't wind up looking like a piece of fried chicken whenever I'm doing whatever shoot I'm on, and I really love it. It's also got a great price point. My shade is F400. I believe last year they reformulated and also changed / expanded their shade range, because when I purchased this, it only had, I think, 5 shades, F100 through F500. F400 is perfect for me, which is lucky considering there were only 5 shades at the time, so the fact that I was even able to find one that worked for me is a bit of a miracle. But I will absolutely be repurchasing this when this runs out and I need to re-up because I love it for my on-camera gigs. Another foundation that I've been loving for on-camera and also in real life, I feel like this one's a bit more versatile for me, is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in the shade Cocoa. This is another one where the shade range blows, but luckily enough, I was able to find a shade for me, and I did have to go to the hood to find it because the CVS's in my area and the other drugstores did not carry the deeper end of the shade range, which is some old bullshit, but I'm used to that kind of thing because that's the way it usually goes. In any event, this foundation looks great. I remember I was doing a shoot with name drop alert, Yvette Nicole Brown, a few months ago, and she was like, girl, what foundation are you wearing? And I was just like, if Yvette Nicole Brown thinks my skin looks good, then this is a keeper. One concealer that became a favorite for me in 2017 is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. This is by no means a new concealer. In fact, I've had it in my collection for quite a while, but I didn't really learn to love it until last year. The shade I have is Dark Neutral. Part of the problem was I felt like the shade wasn't quite right for me and there really wasn't a shade that worked for me. But what I found was when I paired it with the EX1, because this foundation is quite neutral, I like to match the undertone of my concealer to the undertone of my foundation. So if I'm wearing a very yellow foundation, I'll use a more yellow concealer. Because this is a very neutral foundation, I was just like, oh, let me try this with one of my more neutral concealers, and I picked this up one day. And these two have been a match made in heaven for my on-camera gigs because the colors go so well together. They don't make me look ashy. This is a very lightweight yet high coverage concealer. I love the texture and I've just been really happy with it. These two are just clutch for me, and they're probably what I brought with me as you're watching this video because I'm thinking these are what I'm gonna pack for this Walking Dead cruise that I have. There were two eyeshadow palettes that really took me by surprise last year, but they're not the typical like 12 pan or 9 pan larger palettes that you would expect. The first is the Dose of Colors X Desi and Katy. Ugh, I hate those X things for collaborations. It doesn't make any sense to me. But it was the Desi and Katy Dose of Colors collab, the Girls palette. I absolutely love these shades. A lot of people weren't feeling them. A lot of people weren't feeling the fact that you have to use your finger to get the best result when applying them. I got over it pretty quickly because these are just really, really lovely shadows. My particular favorites are Turbo Sun and Harpoon down here. Turbo Sun is sort of this very unique, gray, browny, purpley amazingness. I remember I wore it to my friend Mandy's wedding in October as my eye look, and everyone was just like, your eyes look like a galaxy. It's magical. And I was just like, thank you. And then Harpoon is a very khaki, as the Brits would say. It's like a khaki green color. I love this one layered over my Verushka Cream Shadow by Charlotte Tilbury. That has been one of my beauty favorites in the past, like I think maybe 2016, I want to say. One of my favorite shadows, period, of all time, that Verushka shade. But when layered with Turbo Sun on top, it just takes it to another level. It just amps up the eye-catchingness, for lack of a better term, of your look. It's so nice. The other eye product that I loved was the Alchemist palette, the Alchemist Holographic palette by Kat Von D. It's labeled as a face and eye highlighter palette, but I am not interested in having green, blue, purple, and pink highlighter on my face. Thank you so much. It's just 4 shades in here, and in the pan they look almost identical, especially on camera because, you know, it's getting a little bit washed out by the light from my window. But you get a green shade, a blue shade, ultraviolet shade, and a pink shade. And I especially love these. I mean, it seems like it's not worth it because of what I'm about to say, but I really just love these as transformer shades. I love to use them especially in the inner corner, to just completely change the inner corner highlight of whatever shadow I put on underneath. I started experimenting with color a lot more in 2017, and I still am. I've just been so inspired by Jay Kiss's makeup looks, who, even though I've known about her for a few years, something changed in me last year where I just felt like I wanted to have more fun and not just constantly do my usual, like, cool tone taupey eyes, which I also still love. I mean, I've got a basic neutral as fuck look on today, but I still have really been enjoying playing with color light despite how I look right now, and I really have been loving what these do to just add so much interest to a look. They just really add a unique twist to whatever look I may have done. Say I do a purple eye. I actually did a purple eye just the other day, and then I added the ultraviolet amethyst shade just to the inner corner, and it just made it so much cooler, so much more unique, so much more fire. This is just really, really fun to have in my arsenal. Couple highlighters that I liked this past year, which is a huge plot twist. I'm just as shocked as you are. If you're one of my ride or dies, you already know how I am with highlighters. I like my shit subtle. But in the Sephora November sale, on an absolute impulse buy whim, in store, like I think I was in store to get something else, and I was just like, ugh, let me just try this while it's on sale. I might like it. It is the Hourglass Ambient Strobe Light, Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette. This, the word metallic alone made me shy away from this. When this first launched, I had zero interest in it whatsoever. And everyone who talked about how much they loved it were the types of people who do makeup that I don't like at all TL shade. But when I swatched it on my hand, I was just like, you know, I feel like this has the potential to be used as subtly or as strongly as you want it, which is true about a lot of highlighters, to be fair. And I already love Hourglass products so much, I decided, whatever, let me just give it a go. If I don't like it, I'll return it. And it turns out I freaking love this. I'm actually wearing all 3 shades today. I just ran my highlighting brush across and then highlighted along my cheekbones. It is over top of a liquid product that I'm about to show you in a moment. But yeah, this has been awesome. I every time I need to highlight my face, I've been reaching for this lately, and I'm completely surprised. But an even bigger surprise is the fact that I love these. These are the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. These launched, I want to say, in 2016. These were not new at all, but during the holiday season, they came out with this set of 4 minis and 4 different shades to try, and I honestly don't know what compelled me to even give these a go, because Again, I like very subtle, natural looking highlights. And from when these launched and all the videos I saw where people were ranting and raving about them, they looked so extra, so over the top, so not for me. But again, much like with the highlighter palette that I just showed you, I was like, ugh, if I don't like it, I'll return it. What's the big deal? So I decided to give them a go. And I've absolutely been loving these because I generally do like to use a liquid highlighter either alone, or I'll use a liquid highlighter and then kind of set it with a powder highlighter like those Hourglass ones. Sometimes I use just a powder highlighter, but generally if I'm only using one thing, it's going to be liquid because I feel like it just melts into the skin and looks natural in a way that powders cannot. My favorite shade has been Moonlight. The other three in here are Celestial, Halo, and Rose Gold. There are other shades in this range, but I thought that getting these minis would be good because it would allow me to play around with different shades and actually have the opportunity to maybe finish one. I feel like if you get the full size of this, you're never going to ever finish it unless maybe you're a pro makeup artist, and even then. And I say that now, especially after being experienced with using them, because I use so little. One gripe about this product is much like the custom color drops, which I complained about in this video. Great concept, horrible packaging / execution because the dropper does not work. And this has the same exact problem. With these, like, I'll squeeze it and it'll just kind of like glob off, or, you know, it doesn't really work. Luckily, it's still pretty easy for me to use them because what I'll do is I'll just take the dropper out, and rather than worrying about squeezing out a drop, you need so little, I'll just touch whatever's on the very tip of the dropper to my fingertip, pat it on the areas I want to highlight, blend it out with my fingertips. I found that's the best way to blend it, and then I'll give it one final blend over with a beauty blender, and then I'm good. Used in that way with a light hand, it looks beautiful. It's not over the top. It's not that shine bright like a diamond kind of highlight that I hate. It just looks lovely. And I feel like it looks relatively believable. Next up is a finishing powder. This is definitely from the luxury end of makeup. These are the Guerlain Meteorites in shade 4. This product was not new to me last year. I've been using this jar of my Meteorites since, I want to say, 2016. You can kind of see they're in little balls, and then you swirl your brush in there and then apply it. Again, this is a finishing powder, so it's not the same as a highlighting powder or a setting powder. It's kind of its own thing. Becca Do one, I've actually done a video where I showed you that one, and I really like that one too. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders are also finishing powders. I love those, but this one is the Cadillac of finishing powders for me. As I said, I still love and use the Becca and Hourglass ones that I have, but this is what I reach for when I just want to look good and I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to worry about my makeup looking cakey or powdery or anything. And not to say that those other ones do that, but this is like idiot-proof makeup. This buffed over my makeup after I've done everything. It just gives you this soft look that I can't even describe. It doesn't really translate on camera necessarily, in my opinion. I love this for real life. For on camera, I feel like it's almost kind of a waste, but the effect that it gives to my skin in person, face to face, there's just nothing that quite gets me there in the same way as this. When I'm doing my makeup for real life, I'm generally not even wearing foundation. I'll just do some concealer under my eyes and maybe bronze or contour with like a cream product. But I love to buff over all that once I'm done with this, and it just makes it look like I have amazing skin when I do not. Hefty price tag, but I will definitely repurchase that when it runs out, which doesn't seem to be anytime soon because I've been using it for a long time, and I think I just fell in love with it on a new level last year. But I'm glad that it's lasted me so long, and I feel like it's going to last me through this year as well. Going along with that product, though, is a brush that I purchased last year. I actually have it in its little thing because I just washed it. This is from IT Cosmetics, and it is the All Over Face Powder Brush. It is a very big brush. It looks a little smaller because I like to dry it in here to help it keep its shape. This is just the little cover it came in when I purchased it. IT Cosmetics brushes are pricey, especially considering they're synthetic, but they're really great brushes. They're uber soft, very high quality. I have quite a few of them, and I absolutely love using this one with my Meteorites. It's just the perfect combo because it's very large, but it's also almost flat. It's got a very gentle curve across the top. So I'll just swirl this. Actually, I kind of have to like jam my brush into the jar and then twist it around with Meteorites just to get some of the product on the bristles. And then once I take it out, I just sort of like lightly pat it all over my face, and the size and shape of this make it perfect, and it doesn't disturb any of the makeup I've got underneath, whether it's my bronzer or whatever. And I can just go in and go over all that, set my face, give it a quick mist with some setting spray, and I'm out the door. And it just works for me like a charm. Last makeup item is this lipstick from MAC. It is called Cream in Your Coffee. I was put on game to this by Mary Greenwell, who is an OG makeup artist. Charlotte Tilbury was her assistant. Lisa Eldridge was her assistant. I think some other hugely famous makeup artists have all been her assistants. So she's like OG, killing the game since day one kind of makeup artist. She mentioned this lipstick on an In the Bathroom with Sally Hughes, I want to say. I think that's how I first heard about it. And she just talked about it being the best, like, perfect for everyone, all skin tones, any situation, kind of, everyday lipstick. And I didn't like it that much at first. I picked it up based on that recommendation, and I was just like, ugh, this does not look good on me. And I kind of like forgot about it for quite a while. And then something made me pull it out again last year. I think I bought it in 2016, and then I pulled it out again in 2017 after having forgotten about it for some time. And I was just like, let me see if I can make this work. And I tried it with just a darker brown lip liner and then some gloss on top. Boom. Favorite nude of the year. You guys would have seen me wearing this in quite a few videos, and a lot of you even complimented me on this, and after checking the description box to see what was on my lips, because I always put it there, some of you mentioned that you were running out to buy Cream in Your Coffee, and it's great. Still going strong for me, even though I've had it for a year and a half or so. It still smells fine, it still has the same texture and color and all that, so I'm going to keep using it, and who knows, maybe I'll actually finish a lipstick for once in my life. I meant to wear it today, but then once I was done with my face, I was just feeling a dark lip. But you guys have seen me wear this in plenty of videos, and if I remember to, I'll put in a picture here where you can see it. Favorite fragrance of 2017 would be the Chloe perfume. I think it's just called Chloe. I think this is their sort of flagship fragrance from their line of fragrances, but I loved this. And I still love it whenever I need fragrance. I still love my Clean Skin, which was my fragrance of the year for last year. But basically, ever since I picked this up, I've been wanting to wear this more than anything else. I will switch in other things just to keep it spicy, but I love this. It's not too sweet or floral or anything like that. It's not really on the same vibe as my usual, like, fresh, clean, almost soapy kind of fragrances that I like. It's unique unto itself, at least compared to the other fragrances that I have used and that I like, but it's not super girly or musky. I don't really know how to describe it, but I would just say check out the notes online to see how they describe it. And if you're in an Ulta or a department store or a Sephora, just give it a sniff, because I really love this, and I can't believe how much of it I've already used, because it takes me forever to go through fragrances. I don't usually finish them before they go bad, basically. But this one, like, I'm already down to here, and I imagine it would have been filled, closer to the top of where the metal part starts. So clearly, I've been loving this a lot. Let's wrap this up with random items. I'm gonna start off with some spices I've been loving. During and after doing the Gauge Girl 6-week paleo shred, my lifestyle shifted from eating a lot of takeout to cooking almost all of my meals. I cook probably 95% of my meals at this point. My mantra these days is basically cook, train, create, repeat. That's what I do. So in my house, when we cook, we train, and we create, we gonna need some seasoning for that first part. And I fell in love with these Spice Hunter salt-free blends. They've got a whole bunch of different types. They've got a lemon pepper one that I have, a fajita one, some other ones. But my absolute favorite is the steak and chop grill and broil one. Obviously, they suggest that it's for steaks and chops, but I use it for pretty much anything. It's a blend of black pepper, garlic, onion, brown mustard seeds, lemon peel, chili pepper, allspice, coriander, marjoram, and oregano. So this and just some salt, your food's gonna taste good. Don't even worry about it. I use this quite liberally. In fact, I've only had this for, I don't know, I want to say 3 months or so, and I already need a new one because it's down to here. I use this almost every day. It is my favorite seasoning blend out of all the ones I have, but I also really like the Cajun Creole seasoning blend. Again, salt-free. This one's got paprika, onion, garlic, black pepper, lemon peel, chili pepper, allspice, thyme, cloves, mace, red pepper, and bay leaf. I love this one for seasoning fish. When I make broiled fish tacos, I just basically put some lime juice, salt, and this on my fish fillets, broil them in my oven for however long is appropriate for the type of fish I'm using, and then I make fish tacos with some almond flour tortillas that are paleo friendly, and it's great. I also use it for other things too, but that's my favorite way to use this one. I kind of create sort of like a blackened broiled fish kind of situation, and they're really good. If you are struggling with learning how to cook at home, like I've always been a decent cook, but I feel like my cooking game got up significantly, one, when I worked on a food channel for like 4 years in my life. Shout out to anyone who remembers Tasted. And two, working on that channel with Noah Galutin, who's an amazing chef. Like he taught me a ton about cooking, and my cooking game got way better. And three, just from cooking more. Noah always says cooking is mostly trying, and I have found that to be so true, because I feel like I've become a much better cook in just 3 months of cooking consistently than I have in the past 3 years of eating a lot of takeout. Even though I was like halfway decent to begin with, I feel like I'm like for real decent now as a cook, and it's great. It's really empowering. Feeling like you can make a really solid, tasty meal at home is an awesome feeling. The last favorite of 2017 is Hydrolyzed Collagen Peptides. Easily the most random thing I've ever featured in a favorites video. These I first learned about through the Gauge Girl 6-week paleo shred. I remember I purchased the program probably in the spring of 2017, like May or something, but I didn't get my shit together to actually do it until the fall. I think I started in October of 2017. But even before I started, I looked through it and I remembered seeing that she included this, 30 grams of this mixed with almond milk or whatever as a post-workout every single day of the program. So even before I started the program, I decided to pick this up and try it because I probably thought that I was going to start the program a lot sooner than I actually did. She recommends a specific brand. I believe it's Vital is the name of it, and I've tried that one too. That one I would say is a little bit better, but it's also more expensive. This is neither a vegan nor a vegetarian product. Let me say that right away. It is made from grass-fed, pasture-raised, bovine hide collagen peptide. So this is an animal product. Basically, it's a protein powder, but it's an incomplete protein, so you would not want to only use this or only rely on this as a protein source. But I still use it as a post-workout even now after the Gauge Girl Paleo Shred, and I feel it has really helped me to avoid re-aggravating old injuries that might otherwise be aggravated by the types of workouts I do. I've got an old knee injury. I've got some old feet injuries, like one on each. So, you know, this old bag of bones is not what it used to be. But I do feel like this has helped prevent me from feeling a lot of the aches and pains that I would normally feel because of my demanding workouts. Furthermore, I feel like it's really made a huge difference in my skin. When I started using this on a regular basis, drinking it essentially every day as my post-workout, I noticed that the texture and general appearance and smoothness of my skin improved greatly, to the point that one of the coaches at my gym around week 5 of the challenge even pointed out that my skin was looking incredible. I think that's a bit of a long walk. My skin has never looked incredible, but it was definitely looking better than it used to, and I definitely attribute it to this. I had not at that time changed anything significant in my skincare routine, so I think it was internal changes from having this supplement in my diet. And it does say supports healthy joints and skin packed with protein and amino acids, so that does make sense. This is the brand that I buy now, and I will link it below in the description box. I'll also link the other one, the Vital brand, which again, I would say is more unflavored than this one. This one, I feel like there's a bit of a flavor, but you know, it's not good, but it's not bad. I'm very used to it at this point, so it doesn't bother me at all, and I would rather save my coins, so that's why I go with this one. But the Vital one, I would say, is pretty much unflavored if you have a much more sensitive palate than I do. Someone's probably going to ask me about its effects on hair. I have no idea. I can't speak to that. It doesn't say anything about affecting hair. It specifically says supports healthy joints and skin. I've experienced both of those benefits. I have not noticed any difference in my hair whatsoever in the time that I've been using this, but you know, your mileage may vary, as they say. Whew, that is it. Those are the things that I loved in 2017 that really stood out as the winners of the year. If you are participating in Project Beast Mode, let's also use this video as a forum to be our check-in for the end of week 2 2 weeks down, y'all, 4 to go. If you haven't already joined, I will link the announcement video that has all the rules and everything for you in the description box. For me personally, week 1 was very so-so. I was actually directing a show for Facebook that entire week, so it was very long days on set, very high stress environment, and I definitely let too much stuff slide. I did hit all of my 5 workouts. I don't think I hit my water on any single day at all that entire week. In fact, I don't think I hit my water requirements until this week. I think I've finally just started getting diligent about getting back on track with hitting my ounces of water. I absolutely cheated and indulged in sugar while on set because many sins were committed at craft services. Just keeping it real with y'all, you know, I may lead these challenges, but I am by no means perfect and I make a lot of mistakes. But the show wrapped on Friday. We all felt really good about it. I also indulged in alcohol to celebrate wrapping on the show. So yeah, a lot of fuck ups for me in week 1, but I've definitely done better in week 2. I have gotten 3 of my workouts down. The day I'm filming this is Wednesday. I worked out Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I have not yet worked out today. I think I need to rest today. I'm just kind of listening to my body, so I will pick up a workout tomorrow on Thursday before I leave for my work thing on this Walker Stalker cruise for The Walking Dead. And I'm planning to just bring some leggings and sneakers and a sports bra so I can work out on the boat because I'm figuring it's a cruise ship. They'll probably have some sort of fitness facility there. I don't know. If not, I'll just do some kind of prison style workout in my cabin? I don't know. I don't know anything about cruise ships. Week 2 has been a drastic improvement for me in terms of diet, and I still have managed to stay on track with my workouts. I'm just concerned about access to clean food on this boat. I don't know what's going to happen, but I also know that I won't be in a high stress environment because I won't be working 10, 12 hours a day and directing a show, so I should be able to manage my self-control much better and not stress eat. Let me know how things are going for you. And of course, if you haven't already joined the challenge, you are more than welcome to do so. We've got 4 weeks to go, which is a ton of time to make positive changes should you choose to do so. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys when I am back from this god-awful boat, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.
That's a nappy-headed hose there, I'm going to tell you that now.